Welcome back. We're still discussing the case of fake certificates allegedly being issued by certain foreign universities. Of course, especially universities now in Benin Republic. Joining me to discuss this is Professor Francis Bokare, who is a professor, of course, at the University of Ibadan. And that's where he joins us from via Skype, or Zoom, I should say. Thank you very much, Prof, for joining us on the program. It's the biggest talking point in the country today, this issue of fake certificate. I'm very sure you saw or read about the investigative report now done by that reporter of Daily Nigerian. Give me your take on this whole issue.
Well, thank you very much. It's always nice to be with you here. I would say that I'm very, very delighted, and we need to congratulate the reporter, because what he has just brought out is something that has been in the gossip mill. Those of us in the university system have been aware that we were getting a lot of importation of low quality products from West Africa, from Eastern Europe, from some North American countries, and some part of Southeast Asia. So what he has just done basically is to give the evidence for government to be able to take a decision. We are doing quite a lot internally to assure quality. I think the disaster basically is that those who wish to subvert quality are now going out across the border and collecting certificates for as less as 6 weeks. So we are glad that this is coming into the fore, because if you look at the percentage of those individuals coming for these for youth service and entry into the system, it forms a significant percentage of individuals. Now, what is very painful also is that we need to take this issue beyond just the question of West Africa, because, like I mentioned, there are Northern African countries involved. There are what you call Southern African countries involved. There are also fake certificates coming out of Europe, not even just the Eastern Europe, but also the mainland and so on. So it's important for us to, while we are spending a lot of energy and resources assuring quality locally, government must now take a decisive step to ensure that Nigerians are protected against these degree mills and under-degreed education systems that are offered because of the pressure and the education hunger of Nigerians. We must not be exploited. Decisive step must be taken, and one that is sustainable at that. Thank you very much.
Now, what do you think could be driving some people to explore that route now of securing fake degrees? Well, and sometimes these fake degrees are sort of legitimate, because some of them are actually issued, as is the case, the one this reporter investigated, issued by, if you like, legitimate institutions, but of course the certificates are fake. What could be driving our students to explore that route?
They are set up for Nigerians. In Benin, for instance, and Nigeria and so on, these institutions are set up for Nigerians. They are set up to cater to a certain percentage of Nigerians. There are actually two problems. One problem arising is that there are Nigerians who just want to buy a certificate. I don't feel sorry for those groups. Then there are a second group of Nigerians who are actually seeking to use these institutions as opportunities for out-migration. And I think there are actually a third one, and this have to do with people who are interested in lifelong learning. And the Nigerian university system hardly makes opportunity for people who are involved in lifelong learning. It hardly gives them good opportunity to pursue higher education because of the kind of programs that are available and the kind of rigidity of the university system. But a number of steps have been taken recently by the NUC, for instance. They've enlarged the number of institutions that are offering open distance learning. And then, of course, with the increase in the number of private universities, there's no longer any reason for Nigerians to start to flock to these neighboring countries, because we have grade A, grade B, all kinds of quality private institutions that are operating. We have the National Open University. We have over 20 distance learning centers. And so the argument initially that had to do also with the disruption of academic calendar and so on are now not as compelling as they were in the past. So we now need to rein in these degree mills outside the country. They started, first of all, within our country by running study centers. So what you now saw happening was study centers moving across the border to become universities. And many of us are familiar with these institutions, and we know that they are not even at the quality level. Many of them are not at the quality level of our worst private universities. So something needs to be done. But we must not restrict it to geography, because the fact that these are West African countries doesn't mean that we have a blanket order over West Africa or over African universities, because these fake mills also are in Eastern Europe. So, but a decisive decision must be taken by government, because if we have the institutions and our institutions are not being patronized because some institutions outside the country are selling degrees, government must now find a way to advise Nigerians and to ensure that our own institutions here that we can monitor are actually the ones where majority of Nigerians attend.
Now, the government, of course, says it has suspended the evaluation of certificates from
Recording in progress.
Especially in the government talked about Togo, Benin Republic, of course, that is in the eye of the storm now, and they're thinking of extending it to other universities in Kenya and Uganda and some other African countries. Now, with the suspension in place, what do you expect to see? Is it just that you place this suspension and then that's it?
No. I suspect that government has placed the suspension to enable it to do some due diligence in order not to mix up all those who are, the good institutions with the poor ones. There are some that are criminal enterprises. Immediately, government will be able to deal with these ones that are criminal enterprises. And it is not difficult to find those ones out. The second also is to ensure that if we have accreditation parameters in Nigeria, any institution that falls below those accreditation parameters should not vend degrees to Nigerians. And I think this is very, very important. And then, of course, there is a strategic issue that is involved here. If you are setting up institutions, your institutions, private institutions, public institutions, and your citizens are migrating to poor institutions across your border, and I think any government that forces its hands to allow that to happen is not strategically conscious. So we need to find a way to ensure that our people get the best degrees. Where possible, they remain in Nigeria to be trained, rather than going where they are just giving anything because they feel Nigerians are rich, and so they can pay anything for any kind of degrees.
Are you shocked that this reporter could get this certificate evaluated by the Ministry of Education and passed it as genuine, and then was able to get enrolled into the National Youth Service? That of the National Youth Service is even understandable anyway, because the National Youth Service is not an evaluating institution, but the institution here in the country that did the evaluation and passed it. How could that have happened?
No, you see, it's these things can happen. Let me just be frank with you. It's like somebody cheating, doing an example for another person for WAEC and was not caught through the process of cheating. When an institution in itself is a formally recognized institution within a country is involved in the criminal enterprise, there is very little or nothing. Within the regional bilateral relationship, people have some level of mutuality and respect to say, okay, people will follow the laws.
True.
But when an institution, a formally recognized institution within a country, begins to engage in a criminal enterprise like this, it is always difficult for a government of another country to find it out. And so the Federal Ministry of Education cannot be blamed. Neither can the NUC be blamed for say this for these people passing through the mill. But what has happened now is that it has opened the Pandora box. It has now become an intergovernmental problem. And I am sure that after this, Nigeria will be more careful in dealing with these issues.
Professor Ogwekare, thank you very much for coming on the program again, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue discussions on this topic. Don't go away. Stay with us.
Opinions are free. Facts are sacred.
but truth is universal. How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On DEJI360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
DEJI360, dissecting the issues.